Hey guys, enter the stars. And just some thoughts today on the miracle that Jesus performed where he sent the demons into 2,000 pigs, about 2,000 pigs, and they went over a cliff and into a lake. And in reading this and looking at this and digging a little deeper, I wanted to look at what the number 2,000 meant. And I was interested to find out that 2,000 is the highest number expressible using only two unmodified characters in Roman numerals, and those characters happen to be MM. In other words, MM in Roman numerals represents the number 2000. Now this is significant because we saw the MM on the Georgia Guidestones cube, a cube that was placed inside the Georgia Guidestones in the year 2014, and then it was removed. Now there was a lot of talk about this cube when it came out, and I have lots of videos on this cube, but I believe that this cube means a lot more than we think. Now I began to look into the pig as well, and we'll get back to the number 2000 in a moment, but I wanted to find out more about pigs and what they might mean other than being an unclean animal in the Bible. And this is what I found. It was pretty fascinating that the pig has 44 teeth. So now we have two numbers. We have the number 2000 from the Bible entries talking about the swine and Jesus sending the demons into the swine and them going over a cliff. So I'm looking at this and it says there were about 2,000. This is in Mark 5:13. Then they went over the cliff. And I come to find out that the pig has 44 total teeth. So this gets even more bizarre, because the number 44 obviously is the 44th president, but there was a book called The Mysterious Stranger, and it features Satan's nephew, whose alternate name in parallel works is 44. So I began looking into this, and a movie came out in 1982. At this time, Obama was, I think he was 20 years old. He was born in 61. He was 20 or 21 years old. And this is cryptic because this talks all about trying to justify the devil. Now, there was a 1916 version of this published by TWAIN. This is a mirror, 19 and 16. It's a mirror number. Now, Obama was born in 61 on the 216th day of the year. He was 40 years old when the towers fell in the Hebrew year 61. So all of that is encoded in this 1916 number. Now I'm going to read a couple excerpts from this very satanic Mark Twain last book. And you're not going to believe this because your children are reading Tom Sawyer. You are not you. You have no body, no blood, no bones. You are but a thought. I myself have no existence. I am but a dream. This is the words of 44. This is the nephew of Satan. Your dream, a creature of your imagination. In a moment you will realize this. Then you will banish me from your visions and I will dissolve. So it's basically saying the devil doesn't exist. In a little while you will be alone in a shoreless place to wander its limitless solitudes without friend or comrade forever, for you will remain a thought. So he's trying to say that we're all just thoughts. The only existent, though, and by a nature indistinguishable, indestructible, saying that our thought is indestructible. But that is not true. But I, your poor servant, have revealed you to yourself and set you free. Dream other dreams and better. Strange that you should not have suspected years ago, for you have existed companionless through all these eternities. Strange indeed that you should not have suspected that your universe and its contents were only dreams, visions, fiction. Strange because they are so frankly and hysterically insane, like all dreams. A God who could make good children as easily as bad, yet preferred to make bad ones, so they're the accuser. This is Satan accusing God. Who could have made every one of them happy, yet never made a single one happy. Who made them prize their bitter life, yet stingingly cut it short. Who gave his angels eternal happiness unearned, yet required his other children to earn it. Who gave his angels painless lives, yet cursed his other children with biting miseries and maladies of mind and body. who mouths justice and invented hell. So you see, he's accusing the Creator. And all of this, I'm not going to read any more of this because it's blasphemy. All of this he's saying because he himself, Satan, was the one that introduced sin into the world. And he is the cause of all that has happened. All of this sin and turmoil and sadness. So therefore, he's going to try to find a way out of it. Try to put the blame back on God. When God had a plan. A tree that didn't know any evil. But now the tree of evil was introduced into mankind. So God had to send his son to correct all this. You see. So this is the accuser, the devil. Now here's the movie that I just began to watch from 1982. The Mysterious Stranger. But it's also called the number 44. The Mysterious Stranger. But they leave that part out of the title. And I'm going to tell you why. The Mysterious Stranger 44. Now, let's play this little part here.
What's your name, lad?
Number 44. New series 864962, sir.
Beg your pardon?
Number 44, sir. New series 864962.
Now he repeats that twice. 44 and 44 is 88. Here are the numbers. This is the cast from The Mysterious Stranger, 1982. This is going to blow you away because Chris Makepeace, the very first person that's mentioned, was born on 4/22. 4 times 22 is 88. The other head actor who has actually a picture next to his name, Ernst Wasserman. Are you ready for this? Born on October 4th, Obama's Roman birthday. Obama was born on 8/4. October is the 8th month in the Roman calendar. This is Obama's Roman birthday, and if you think that's a stretch, the Manchurian candidate, Liv Schreiber, was born on as well. We showed how Obama was the Manchurian candidate. Now this is the man that you saw talking, who said, I am number 44. He was born on 11/6, and if you flip 11/6 upside down, you get 9/11. This is the number 864,962. And as you can see, these 4 areas here represent the 4 prime numbers multiplied together to make 864,962. 4, and then you see the overlapping 4. There's your 44. There are 16 divisors of this number, and therefore you see the 61 encoded in this number, 1661. And that is why the book was released in 1916, as we discussed. But what else is important is that Obama, the 44th president, was born on the 216th day of the year. The same divisors in 1961, which is the opposite of 16. Do you see how all this is linked in together? Now it gets even more bizarre because 864,962 is composed of 4 prime numbers multiplied together. These are the prime numbers. The first prime number, 4th prime number, the 11th prime number, and the 301st prime number. So what does all this mean, you guys? It means that something very strange is happening in this mathematical reality, in which we can see that there is nothing new under the sun. And the birth and death and the dates and times of that happening mean something. Something very concrete that only can be seen in hindsight. Now back to this in the miracle of the swine. Because I believe that when this miracle happened in roughly 27 AD, when you add 2,000 years or 2,000 pigs to 27 AD, you can come up to the year 2027. He said about 2,000 pigs. So I believe Jesus is going to return any day. Now, when he sent those pigs over a cliff, it says they went into a dark place. And to round this out, I'm going to show you something that is simply unbelievable. Now remember, pigs are the closest DNA match to human beings and are therefore used for different transplants and things. And that to me is weird. How are pigs so close to us in our DNA? And maybe that has something to do with why they are unclean. Now all this went down, this miracle of Jesus, in a place called Gadarenes. And what he did was he sent these swine, and then they ran down a steep place into the lake and were choked. And as I've told you guys, underneath us is another watery abyss. And isn't it interesting that this same Gadarene is the name of lakes and ridges in Antarctica? And I told you that Antarctica is a ring that surrounds this planet, the convex lens Earth. And then below us is the looking out, which is what we saw in the Illuminati website. There we see the yellow cursor is Antarctica forming a ring around the convex lens Earth at the bottom of the eye. The iris chokes out the light, opening and closing like the cervix of a womb, just like Jesus said it would. The water choked him. The lower waters of the aqueous humor, they went off the edge of the cliff, hiding in plain sight, in the words of Jesus, because they're looking out instead of looking in. The looking out is what deceives you. Antarctic ring, Gadarenes, the abyss. This is the watery abyss. This is hell underneath us. This is where the enemy wants you looking, rather than looking within. The kingdom of heaven is within. He wants to be God on earth. He wants you in this watery realm, Leviathan, rather than the upper waters of heaven, the cerebrospinal fluid that never runs dry, the well that you will never be thirsty at, according to what Christ said. Take care and be safe, you guys.